Hello, everybody. This is JT Productions, and welcome back to another 2023 preview and prediction video. Today, I'm going to be doing the Kansas State Wildcats. Let's get into it. Last year, Kansas State had their best season in a long time, winning the Big 12, and their only losses came for some reason. Somehow, they lost to Tulane, they lost to TCU, they lost to Texas, and they lost to Alabama. They won the Big 12 over TCU in overtime. They had wins over TCU, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Oklahoma. So, not a bad season for Kansas State. Probably one of their best in a while. So, let's look at the rosters, see what Chris Klieman is working with for this year. Well, Adrian Martinez is gone. He went to the draft, or he went to the NFL. So, you have senior Will Howard, who showed out when Martinez was hurt last year, especially during the Big 12 championship. At running back, you have Trayshawn Ward coming in as a redshirt senior from Florida State at running back to replace Deuce Vaughn. DJ Giddens as well, helping out that running back room. At wide receiver, Keegan Johnson coming in from Iowa to help out the wide receiver core. RJ Garcia, Phillip Brooks, tight ends, Ben Sinnott. On the offensive line, you have a lot of veteran talent, a lot of juniors and seniors, so that's going to help out a lot. On the defensive side, similar story. You have a sophomore, the rest are juniors and seniors, including a transfer safety, junior Marquez Siegel from North Dakota State. So all in all, this team, I think, is still going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Big 12. So let's go to the schedule to see how I think they're going to do. Well, to start the season, they play the SEMO Redhawks. Just Southeast Missouri. Sorry, they play the Southeast Missouri Redhawks. I think you're going to get a win there. They play Troy. I think you get a win there as well, unless it's a Tulane situation, but I don't think it is. Then you go on the road to Missouri. This is going to be the first real test for you. Missouri is a physical team. They've become a physical team under Eli Drinkwitz. They have Brady Cook back as quarterback, Luther Burden. They have a bunch of defensive guys. I think you get a win here, though. I think you get a win. Maybe a little closer than it was last year, but I think you win this game to go to 3-0. Then you play UCF at home. And I think you get a win there. Big thing for UCF is their offensive line. Is it going to be congealed enough at this point to win a game like at Kansas State? And I just don't think so. Then you got a bye week. Then you play 2 back-to-back road games at Oklahoma State and at Texas Tech. I don't think you're winning both of these games. I think you beat Oklahoma State, and I think you lose to Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a very underrated team this year, and I think Kansas State is going to figure that out real quick. So you suffer your first loss. You're 5-1 before playing TCU. Now TCU, they nicked Kansas State last year, but Kansas State came out back in the Big 12 championship and beat them. I think with a lot of their, I think Kansas State wins this game because of what TCU lost. Max Duggan, Quentin Johnston, all those guys. And I think Kansas State gets a big win at home against TCU. Then they play Houston at home. This could be an interesting game with Dana Holgorsen coming back to play Kansas State. I do think you get the win, but I would not sleep on the game either. So at this point before the Texas game, you are 7-1. This is going to be a big game for the Big 12 as a whole. And I think Texas wins it. Texas is just very talented this year with all the wide receivers, Quinn Ewers, and that defense getting better with the offensive line being very young and very talented. So I think that Kansas State takes its second loss here and goes to 7-2. Then they play Baylor. Baylor is a interesting situation. I think this could be a situation where Kansas State loses twice. Baylor, very physical team coming after a very physical game against Texas. I think it happens here, and I think Baylor steals one from Kansas State and Kansas State drops to 7-3. Then you're at Kansas, and I think that you're a little bit too talented to lose to Kansas. Could see it being a close game, but I do think you get the win. Before playing, I think it's called a Cornageddon or something like that. Against Iowa State, the rivalry. I can't remember the name, but anyways, Farmageddon, that's what it is, Farmageddon. One of the best rivalry names in college football. You play Iowa State, and I think you're so beat up that a loss to Iowa State just this sounds like a possibility. You could totally win the game against Iowa State, then lose to somebody like Oklahoma State or Kansas or somebody like that. I think you lose to Iowa State, and I think you go 8-4. So, not a bad year. A little bit of a step back, but I think you'll manage. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and Go Dogs.